$980 million in funding for the Tribal Broadband Connectivity Program. FCC Chairwoman Rosenworcel sets new goals for broadband availability. CommScope to expand fiber optic cable manufacturing in the Tar Heel State, and a look at global broadband affordability. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Craig Corbin. NTIA, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, this week launching a second funding opportunity under the Tribal Broadband Connectivity Program, a move which will make $980 million available for expansion of network infrastructure, along with use and adoption programs to supply laptops or cover monthly provider bills for tribal citizens in need. Applications will be accepted through January 3rd of 2024. That's twice as long as the last grant award application period. NTIA has also encouraged tribes to seek funding through the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. Word from the Fiber Broadband Association this week announcing the State Broadband Summit as part of the Fiber Connect 2023 agenda next month in Orlando. With state broadband offices preparing their 5-year broadband plans, the summit will feature a wide range of keynote speeches and panel discussions, providing insight into state, regional, and local policy challenges and opportunities. Among the keynote speakers slated to appear, Deputy Assistant Secretary for the U.S. Department of Commerce, April McLean Delaney, who will deliver an NTIA update. The State Broadband Summit will be held August 23rd. That's the final day of Fiber Connect 2023, to be held at the Gaylord Palms Resort and Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. The Alternative Connect America Cost Model Program, or ACAM, has been updated by the FCC. The new enhanced ACAM raises the broadband target speed from 25 over 3 to 100 over 20, which brings it in line with other rural broadband funding programs, including the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. ACAM is one of two broadband funding options available exclusively to incumbent rural providers receiving money through the Universal Service Fund high-cost program to reimburse embedded costs of building and operating telecom and broadband networks in areas that are most costly to serve. In other FCC news, Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel has announced the goal of reaching 100% national access to affordable broadband, with a future goal of 1 gigabit per second over 500 megabits per second as the minimum speed standard. The goal, part of an updated notice of inquiry, kicking off the agency's evaluation of the state of broadband across the country as required by Section 706 of the Telecommunications Act. Rosenworcel proposes considering a number of crucial characteristics of broadband deployment: affordability, adoption, availability, and equitable access. The increase in minimum speed standard, the first since 2015. CommScope has announced plans to invest more than $60 million for expansion of its fiber optic cable manufacturing facilities in Catawba County, North Carolina. It's a move which would also create at least 250 new jobs in the Tar Heel State. CommScope's existing U.S. facilities currently have the capacity to manufacture drop cable at a rate of approximately 2 billion feet per year. Capacity increase will focus on loose tube production and additional fiber cable counts and styles, including the recently announced HeliArc fiber optic cable, specifically designed for rural fiber network architecture. When it comes to ranking worldwide broadband affordability, probably no surprise that the U.S. way down the list. According to research from Broadband Genie, a provider of data related to broadband services, the United States ranks 32nd globally for internet affordability. That's a term defined as the percentage of a country's average salary needed to cover the average cost of internet connectivity. Canada ranks 41st. Top 5 countries on the broadband affordability list: Hong Kong, Singapore, Denmark, Finland, and Switzerland. Worldwide, subscribers spend 3.8% on average of their monthly salary for broadband connectivity. A new coalition has been formed to fight recent efforts to change the rules on negotiating carriage rights with virtual multi-channel video program distributors, or VMVPDs in communications acronym lingo. The Preserve Viewer Choice Coalition, made up of ABC, CBS, Fox, Fubo, NBC, Roku, Telemundo, Univision, and Warner Brothers Discovery. The organization wants to, quote, protect consumer streaming choices and preserve competitive online video marketplace. Congress also looking at rule changes. Last month, Washington Senator Maria Cantwell requesting the FCC address the current media environment to, quote, protect local news in the streaming era. The transition of ESPN to a DTC or direct-to-consumer model close at hand. That from CNBC and the New York Times. ESPN's parent company, the Walt Disney Company, has held talks with Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL about becoming stakeholders in ESPN for distribution and content. Disney looking for ways to mitigate some of the multi-billion-dollar national rights licensing costs for ESPN. That would allow them to better compete with new players in the live sports market, Amazon, Apple, and Google. ESPN notably jettisoned many of their longtime on-air personalities in a recent cost-cutting move. And with the Women's World Cup well underway, a survey by WSC Sports shows an increase in viewership from 929 million back in 2019 to nearly 1.5 billion this year. That's a jump of 57%. Global awareness of the Women's World Cup is highest in England at 66%, Brazil 59%, co-host nation Australia 58%, the U.S. 43% awareness. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in the Broadband Universe.